Welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie from the Farmhouse Mom. Today we are going to do a little bit of fall deep cleaning and day in the life homemaking. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for stopping by the farm. And if you are a regular viewer, I am so sorry it has been 3 weeks since I have made a video. I've actually been filming and working toward making a video, but my voice has been out of commission. Jackson and I, my 6-year-old, got a cold, and then I think we got another one, and so I didn't want to make a video for you with that raspy type of voice. I find it very annoying, and I didn't want to annoy you, so we are going to catch you up in what we've been doing the last 3 weeks on the farm. We put the garden to bed for winter, and we had a ton of jalapeños, and my favorite way to have jalapeños is fermented. And so we chop up all the jalapeños, we put them in salt water, and after a few days they are nice and tangy and fermented. It brings the heat down just a little bit, in my opinion. I do like peppers, but I'm not a super hot person where I like a ton of spice, and it makes it a nice and mellow flavor, but also you get a little bit of that heat. I still have a little bit of that raspy voice, so I'm probably going to be talking a little bit less than what I normally do in my videos. But I made a delicious sourdough, cheddar, and jalapeno loaf, and I actually undercooked it just a little bit because I put it in the freezer. So we enjoyed it a week or two after that I had already made that. So this is all of my jalapenos. Actually, I don't think it's all the jalapenos. I think I still have a couple more pint jars. But as I was kind of condensing these into my big jar, after I opened some of the jars, they exploded in my face. And so I got jalapeno juice in my eye, all over my hair. So that was fun. Anyway, I went ahead and condensed them so I could put them in the refrigerator. You can leave them out, but I prefer to just keep things in the refrigerator if I can. So one thing I do not like about my refrigerator is it is really difficult to move the bottom shelf that's right above the drawers. And so you see that super disgusting thing underneath. I spilt some balsamic vinegar, and it kind of spills in the back, and then it wicks its way through, and it is absolutely impossible to remove that. You have to like hold the clips underneath on both sides, and it is the worst design ever. I feel like the person who designed this should be banned from society. Like, that's not necessary to make it so difficult to take out a refrigerator. Straight to jail. The person who made that should go straight to jail. And I always have to have my husband help me, and he does it, and then I clean the refrigerator, and it just seems like it always gets dirty. I would love to just have just like a regular, like a 1970s, 1980s refrigerator. I am on the lookout for that because I'm just so tired of modern appliances. We've only been in that house for 5 years. We've had our stove break on us 3 or 4 times. We've had the washing machine, brand new Samsung washing machine, have to get repaired. So, you know, I don't know. How about you guys? Are you so tired of modern appliances?
Get ready, guys.
So we got the refrigerator deep cleaned, we pulled it out, we cleaned on top of it, around it, underneath it, and then we also did the ceiling fans on the lower level of the house. So for me, when the ceiling fans get really dirty, I typically will just use paper towels and some dishwashing soap. If something's really dirty, I don't want to use a rag and then have to clean the rag. I try not to do a lot of single-use cleaning products, but I do use paper towels. It's probably about the only single-use thing that I use because, like I said, it's just not worth it to me to clean something really dirty and then have to go to all the trouble to do a lot of laundry for something that's really gross. So speaking of something that's really gross, this underneath the vent of the stove, I will wipe it down as I'm cleaning the stove, but I haven't pulled out that metal filter for a while. So I do cook. I have cleaned it before, so don't think it's been 5 years since I've cleaned it. But it's probably been 2 years since I've cleaned it, and you can see all of the grease and the gross stuff that is coming out with the hot water. I think I wound up soaking that in some OxyClean to get all of the grease off. And then I also changed around a little bit. So I have this picture over my china hutch, and it looks dark on camera. It is dark in person, but that whole kind of area over there looks a little bit of dark just because the light comes in and it's hard to pick it up on camera. But I thought it might look better over the plate rack. So as I was cleaning it, I had my husband stop and smell it. I was like, do you think this is, darkened from smoke? Maybe it was from a smoker's house. And he's like, no, if this was from a smoker's house, it would really, really smell. So I think the painting itself is just dark just because that's the way that it's supposed to be. And I think it kind of anchored everything over here. I think it looked a lot better over the plate rack and kind of drew your eye up instead of just having that big white blank spot. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I'm also a part-time reseller. I have not been thrift shopping for quite a few weeks because of the aforementioned colds that we had. But I got a old calendar. I actually got several old calendars. Some were 1960s, and I think one or two was a 1970s calendar. But they were insurance calendars, and they had these amazing pictures. And so I have been using these for decor. And I got a lighter picture frame to put above the china hutch so it won't be so dark. And I thought I might just kind of add a couple of photos that I could change with the seasons. And so I picked out a couple of winter scenes that I liked, and then I also got this harvest moon scene. And so I picked the ones that I want and I tucked them all behind the frame. And so when it's time to change out, I can just, flip it, and I don't have to get a whole new picture, and I can have the pictures change with the season. It's funny because I put some of the white milk glass in front of that one painting because I thought, oh, this will lighten it up a little bit. But now that I have the painting up there, I think the milk glass is too white. And so I will be able to put something more colorful up there. And so if we're really talking about a day in the life, I sold something on my Poshmark, and I swear I spent 2 hours looking for this little duck potpourri holder, which if you are a regular viewer of the channel, you know that I'm working really hard to try to get my house extremely organized. I am a previous very organized person that has become kind of messy through just changes in life, having kids. I became a mom at 46, 5 years ago, and also I turned 50 this year, and so I started on hormone replacement therapy, on bioidentical hormones, and I'm going to make a video on that, of my experience. I just started in August, but I am going to make a video of that for you, just letting you know how I've been feeling, how I felt before, and I think it'll be really, really helpful. So that definitely has affected my mood, affected my energy level, and I think it's been for the better. And I think, like I was saying, things have changed in life, and that has been something that has changed. I used to really be somebody who was extremely motivated, extremely very strict in my schedule, and kids and menopause will do a number on your schedule. So anyway, we'll talk about that later. But something that I needed to do is to really scrub this area of my bathroom. And so we live on a farm. We do have a gravel road, but we are far enough off that we're far enough off the main road that, we don't get any dust or anything like that from cars, just ourselves. But we like to keep our windows open, and when you keep your windows open, you just don't realize how much dust comes in. So this area was so disgusting, and my husband was so great. He helped me do a lot of this deep cleaning where he took off all the light bulbs, he took off all of the glass, light fixtures. He even took off all the light bulbs above the kitchen table. He took off all the chandelier, and he scrubbed all of that. And so, although we have been working on this for a couple weeks, I've been working on for a couple weeks, he really pitched in this weekend, and it just helps, to have another person do it, and it just makes it go so much faster, but then you also feel a lot more motivated, which is why I like to share this with you, because I know I love watching Tiffany Beeston. If you guys watch other YouTube videos for cleaning motivation, I know I do. If I want to clean something, I'll put that on in the background. But she is really awesome. She is a young mother. She has 4 children, and it's Beauty and the Beestons. And I will link that channel if you don't follow her. I think that you will like her. She's a really sweet girl. I really like her. Anyway, our bathroom was so gross from the dust, and especially underneath this bathtub. I, mop, but it just seems like you don't deep clean every week. Maybe I should be deep cleaning every week, but I'm just trying to keep the schedule together and get the house clean. So, I'm giving myself a little bit of forgiveness. So you should give yourself some forgiveness too. Oftentimes when I'm cleaning, I will just do like a quick little clean, and I probably don't get back behind that bathtub like I should and scrub. But anyway, we did this weekend, and we cleaned it really good, and it's so sparkling and so clean, and it feels great to go in there. It's been so hot this fall, but we finally got a break in our weather, and I think we even got a frost warning. On one morning it got quite cool, but usually when the weather drops, I make an old childhood comfort classic meal, which is beans and cornbread. I kind of feel like this is a really old-fashioned meal. I don't see a lot of people making it, but my sister and I love beans and cornbread, and I don't think my kids quite love it like we do, but they eat it just like I did as a kid. So I didn't have a ham bone, but I did have some beef bones. And so I just threw that in my Instant Pot with just a few spices. And I don't use my Instant Pot as much in the summertime as I do in the wintertime, but this is such a great device. I was griping about modern appliances before, and it's not that I, hate all modern appliances. It's just everything is just such junk. It just breaks immediately. You pay $1,000 for a washing machine, and you certainly don't expect for it to break within a couple of years. So hopefully that changes. Hopefully we get some appliances being made in the US, and I would gladly pay more for something that is not going to break down. But anyway, that's the end of my complaining. So I love to make cornbread in cast iron skillet. So I put a little bit of butter down, and I put my cornbread in the hot cast iron, and it makes such a delicious, crispy, beautiful cornbread. It's one of my favorite comfort meals, and let me know if you are kind of old-fashioned and you have beans and cornbread in the wintertime as well. This week I will be continuing with my clean and declutter. We are working on the laundry room right now. My husband's putting up a nice little shelf, and that is the video that I will have for you next week. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks so much for stopping by the farm.